Patrick Valentine. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I play my games. Even talk about wrestling. Even talk about anime. I can't get no satisfaction completing every game to 100%, even if it may seem very tough. Get to the end. I will push hard to reach the end, even if it may seem tough. Complete the game. It doesn't matter what I play, I will achieve victory. Yeah, you will see my gaming prowess. Take me to the end, It doesn't matter what I play, I will push my limits. You will see me reach to the very end. Yes, welcome to my channel. My gaming skills will take me to the end. Like and subscribe. Man, I don't know what to say. Man, actually, yes, I do know what I want to say. I have a lot to get off my chest regarding SummerSlam Night 2, and I have to be completely honest with you guys, and I'm always honest. I have always been honest. I'm never afraid to share my honest opinions, whether you like them or not. SummerSlam Night 2 was definitely an improvement over Night 1. Night 1, in my opinion, Gunther Punk, despite how I felt about it, was easily the best match. Alexa and Charlotte, winning the tag team titles was fine. I was okay with that. But overall, I didn't have a lot of positive about Night 1. The only real positive I gave was the ending, which was CM Punk pulling off the ruse of the century. And now, I go from being positively happy about the main event, now being negatively angry about the main event. And now it has nothing to do with Cody Rhodes becoming the WWE champion. Absolutely not. It was the right decision. I think that was the right decision, but it was what happened after that is what I'm not exactly all that thrilled about. So the show kicked off, with Triple H welcoming everybody. The guy likes to say he doesn't like being in the spotlight. This guy likes to claim he doesn't like being in the spotlight. I remember him saying that once. I remember them saying that, Triple H isn't a fan of being in the spotlight. He'd rather put the spotlight on the wrestlers. Then why does he keep coming out at the start of the show and welcoming us to the show? That is a guy who loves the spotlight. And what a coincidence, there was no press conference, because they usually do all these press conferences. And because of what happened in the main event, they didn't want to do a press conference because they know the answers, because they know the questions are going to be flooded about a certain somebody. So they decided to no longer do press conferences. Go figure. The opening match was Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi for the Women's World Championship. This was a good match to open things up. Rhea Ripley takes the pin. She takes the pin after she delivers her avalanched riptide, and Naomi comes from behind and then rolls her up and kind of does a pretzel pin. It was kind of like a pretzel pin on Rhea Ripley, and got a pinfall win. So there you go. All the people that said that Rhea Ripley should have taken the pin should be happy. But if I know the IWC, they'll find something to be angry about. Was not a fan of Rhea Ripley taking the pin here. While I do love Naomi, I'm not a fan of Rhea taking the pin. It would have been better if it was Io, but the match was still good anyway. But Naomi, now having 2 clean pinfall victories over the 2 top babyfaces on Monday Night Raw should absolutely establish Naomi as now the woman on Monday Night Raw. So, honestly, I cannot see look, if you have Naomi pin Io and Rhea, I'm sorry, she shouldn't lose to Stephanie Vacchia. And I love Stephanie Vacchia. But if you're going to have Naomi pin Io and Rhea, I don't think she should lose to Stephanie. And I love Stephanie. I would much rather Stephanie kind of feud with Becky over the IC title. But if I know them, they will probably drag on this Bayley-Becky stuff. Because Triple H just doesn't know the meaning of just ending it and moving on. So, we'll see where they go from there. Maybe Rhea and Io can kind of become a tag team for a bit and kind of go into the tag division and go after the tag team titles. I know it sounds weird, but you know, I think it'd be a decent idea to give them something to do, and it gets them out of the world title picture. It gives them something else to do. I'd also be fine with maybe Rhea going after the IC title. You know, again, gives her something else to do. Or they could do like a friendly rivalry, or they could do some kind of friendly rivalry with her and Io where no one turns heel, just a friendly rivalry where Rhea just wants to finally beat Io. That could also be a match they could do. But I also wouldn't be mad if they held off Rhea's title win until they go to Australia, where she wins the title there. Which is also something I wouldn't mind them doing. And what I mean by winning the title, I mean I probably would rather if it was Tiffany Stratton's title. So because if it's the women's world title, then people are gonna bitch. Well, actually, regardless of whatever title it is, people are gonna bitch regardless because it's Rhea Ripley, and apparently Rhea Ripley challenging for a title is bad. But yeah, those are just some ideas I'm giving that I think they should do with Rhea. A tag team, her and Io kind of just being in a temporary tag team for the tag division. They could also feud with each other, you know, in a babyface manner, just like a respectful kind of rivalry. Like, not every rivalry needs to be about someone turning heel. Not every rivalry needs to be about someone going heel or whatever. 6-pack TLC match. The Wyatt 6, Andrade and Rey Fenix, DIY, Axiom, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. So, this match was chaotic. This match was crazy. This match was chaotic, and this match was crazy. So, they basically just had anyone who had outside parties get involved. So, everyone in the Wyatt 6 and Candice LeRae were all allowed to get involved in the match. For obvious reasons, because it's a no DQ match. But the biggest highlight was Candice LeRae. Her crazy bump off the ladder. She climbed up the top of the ladder and someone pushed her off, and then she fell off the top of the ladder and crashed through another ladder, which was absolutely insane. Like, imagine not pushing Candice LeRae after that. Like, Candice LeRae has done nothing but sit in catering for months. Doing nothing for months but sit in catering getting paid. So you sit around in catering doing nothing. And then they pay her to do a crazy spot like this. You sit around in catering for months, and then you get paid to do this. And then you get paid to do a crazy bump. I don't know, man. I think they could be doing a whole lot more with Candice LeRae. So the Wyatt 6 retained. Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis remain the tag team champions. Not a fan of the result, but, you know, I like Joe Gacy. I've always been a fan of his work, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. And the Wyatt 6 only just won the titles not too long ago, so yeah, it's kind of obvious that they weren't really gonna lose. So, next up is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, and finally, this will be for the last time. This is a last chance, no disqualifications match, where if Lyra loses, she can never challenge for the title as long as Becky's champion. Now, this match wasn't as good. This match was not as good as their previous encounters. People are just going to say the match is good just because they've enjoyed their other matches, and they're just going to think this one's automatically good. I mean, everyone has their tastes, I suppose, but it's kind of hilarious that every match outside of Dominic and AJ Styles was a no DQ match. Like, every match on this card, except for Dominic and AJ, was a no DQ match. Because triple threats are automatically no DQ. So Bayley comes down and she inadvertently, I guess you could say that, inadvertently costs Lyra the match and Becky retains. Also, Becky debuted new music. She also got brand new music by a band. And I want to make this very clear, it ain't a Def Rebel track. If it was a Def Rebel track, I can probably understand why people would be angry about it. But honestly, since it's done by a band, I don't think people should be complaining. But people are going to complain because they prefer her iconic theme. They prefer her iconic theme, so they're going to complain about it regardless. But she is a heel. It was time for a change. Well, I love Celtic Invasion as much as the next guy, but I tell you this, it was time for a change. If Becky's going to commit to this heel run, she had to get rid of that music. And yes, I know she had it in her first heel run when she was big time Bex. But still, maybe Becky was okay with changing her music as long as it was done by a band and not done by everyone's favorite musicians, Def Rebel. Maybe that's what she wanted. She was like, I will change my music as long as it's done by a band. And it's not Def Rebel, because Randy Orton and CM Punk were going to get Def Rebel versions of their iconic themes, and they didn't want that. And they refused, and they turned down those changes. So maybe some wrestlers prefer bands to play their music. So in my opinion, if Becky's new theme is done by a band, which apparently it is, then people really shouldn't be upset. Just be grateful it will not have artist Def Rebel next to it. So just be grateful about that. So yeah, not really a whole lot I can really say about this. It was definitely my least favorite of the trilogy of matches between her and Lyra. But I'm just done with this feud. I'm done with it. I'm glad they've ended it. I'm glad it's over with. But now we've still had to deal with the Bayley-Becky rivalry, which I would much rather they just move on from that too, and just have Lyra feud with Bayley, and then just move Becky Lynch on to, like, fighting someone different. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all, because Triple H would rather be lazy and just have Becky fight the same people over and over and over again until we're all sick of it. My least favorite match on the card, well, there is one more. Well, actually, that's not true. There is one other match that was my least favorite, but this is one of my least favorite matches on the card: Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu inside a steel cage match. You guys know my opinion on the Bloodline arc. You guys know my opinion on the Samoan Bloodline bullcrap. You guys know my opinions on it. I just hate it. I'm so tired of it. It's a never-ending saga because WWE know deep down in their hearts they are nothing without the Bloodline story. They are nothing without a bunch of Samoans fighting each other. They cannot book themselves. They cannot book for shit if there's nothing to do with the Samoans. So, this match was not very good. Solo is, as the US champion, I just cannot take seriously. I just cannot take seriously. But it is what it is, I suppose. And of course, the whole point of the steel cage match was to prevent the MFT from interfering. And of course, they still interfere regardless. See, what's the damn point of a stipulation when the interferees are still going to interfere anyway? This is why I hate stipulations. Like, why invoke stipulations if it doesn't change anything? The bloodline is the bloodline. And look, I know they're called the MFT now, but it's still the same thing. It's still the damn same thing. May have a new name, but that doesn't change the fact of what they are. What's the point of putting them in a steel cage if the faction can still interfere? That kind of stuff I hate. Like, what's the point of a cage or a cell if people can just still interfere? Like, there's no point to it. If the cage was if the cage was supposed to settle the rivalry, it clearly didn't. The MFTs help Solo retain. So it's clear that this rivalry is not over because, again, whenever is a rivalry that involves the bloodline ever over? Never. It's never over. The bloodline arc will continue on forever and ever and ever, and will never have a true end game. Because WWE cannot afford to end this. Because if they do end it, then they don't know what to do. And also, I was hearing all these rumors about Jimmy Uso going off to Monday Night Raw, but yet he's involved in this Solo Sikoa feud. But again, Triple H doesn't care about a brand split. He doesn't care about the brand split. He doesn't like the draft. He doesn't like having, separate brands. So, again, why even bother? So now it's time for the other match on this card that I didn't care for, which was Dominic versus AJ Styles. I really wanted AJ Styles to win here, but I knew AJ wasn't going to win. As deep down in my heart, I wanted AJ to win, but I ultimately knew Triple H loves Dominic so much he will have him retain, and that's exactly what happened here. Man, I am so tired of all these Eddie Guerrero tributes. Look, I know people love Eddie. And it's a shame that he passed away. But come on, it's been nearly 20 years now. It's been 20 years. Yes, we all still miss Eddie. But do we really need these Eddie stuff all the damn time? Do we need to see this Eddie shit all the damn time? Apparently the answer is yes. We do need all the Eddie Guerrero references all the time because we love Eddie, we miss Eddie. And I guess it would be me saying stuff like this is considered a slap in the face and disrespectful to Eddie Guerrero. How dare you, Patrick? How dare you? How dare you be against the Three Amigos? How dare you be against frog splashes and the lying and cheating and stealing? How dare you? Shame on you. Shame on you to be against anything that made Eddie Guerrero who he is. Yeah, it made Eddie Guerrero who he is. That's the thing. It made Eddie Guerrero who he is. Do we need Dominic to do the exact same stuff as him? Absolutely not. You might as well just change his name to Dominic Guerrero if you want him to be another Eddie Guerrero. Like, seriously, I don't care. I may sound like a dick here, but I just don't care about all the Eddie Guerrero references. I really don't. If you've seen Eddie Guerrero's matches, you know the references. We've seen them done to death so many times. We've seen the fake chair shot thing when they pretend to hit themselves at the chair and throw it to the other opponent and then they fall over. We see that all the damn time. We've seen it so often. It happens so often when people want to just pay homage to Eddie Guerrero, man. I just don't really care. I'm sorry, I just don't. I just wish they would just let the man rest in peace. That's all I ask for, just let the man rest in peace. Now finally for the main event, Cody Rhodes and John Cena for the WWE Championship. Now, I definitely have a lot to say about this match. I remember when this match first came about, when it was reported back in maybe January or February that they were going to have a match at WrestleMania. I remember fans being absolutely against it. I remember fans being A, absolutely against it, B, saying a babyface versus babyface match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena would be terrible, and number 3, they said John Cena needs to turn heel or Cody Rhodes. People thought the only way that this match would have worked if there was a heel turn involved for John Cena. And they got what they wanted. John Cena became a heel. And then what kind of match we ended up getting? We ended up getting an atrocious match at WrestleMania 41 in possibly one of the worst main events we've had in many years. And we also had that bozo Travis Scott. Easily one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history. And keyword, I said one of. There are probably way more worse Mania main events, but that's up there as one of the worst. And I'm sorry, John Cena's heel run, I'm going to make a full video about his heel run, but I'm going to say it right now, his heel run was an absolute failure. An absolute bust. It was god awful. I was willing to give it a chance. But after several months, I was like, yeah, this isn't going the way I think a lot of us really wanted. And people weren't going to be booing John Cena during his retirement tour. It's his final year. It's his final year in the product. It's his final year in WWE. Do you think people are going to boo him? Do you really think people are going to boo him in his final year in WWE? Absolutely not. It was a failure from the beginning. The Rock never should have done what he did. The whole thing with The Rock never should have happened. That's it. The whole thing with The Rock never should have happened. The Rock ruined everything. The Rock had to ruin everything because he just wanted Cody to be a heel, and it backfired on him. And Travis Scott's gone. He's now done with the company. WWE have kicked him to the curb, and thank the Lord they've kicked him to the curb. They realize how bad of an idea it was for him to be involved. So at least there's a few good things that came out of that. And secondly, as I said before, John Cena's whole heel run was an absolute disaster. It was a disaster. It truly was. It truly was a disaster. And they decided to turn him babyface on SmackDown when he told Cody Rhodes that you gave me a wake-up call. And I will be the real John Cena. And remember what I said at the start when I talked about this. Everyone said a babyface versus babyface match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena would not be good. And this match was easily one of the best matches on the night. And these two proved that a babyface versus babyface match at WrestleMania 41 would have been far better than the garbage we got at WrestleMania 41. This match was great. I actually really enjoyed it, and I prefer it more over WrestleMania 41. They shat all over the WrestleMania 41 match. Yes, there were too many finishes, too many finisher kickouts. I will say that's a bit of a negative. I'm never really a fan of so many over-the-top finishes. Like, Cena kicked out of the triple crossroads. Cody kicked out of the super AA. It's like two Supermen. It's like we were watching two Supermen fight each other. But in the end, Cody Rhodes would give John Cena the salute and then deliver one final crossroads and pin him for the 1, 2, 3, winning back the WWE Championship. And this was the right decision. This was the right decision. John Cena's title run was an absolute fail. His title run was a fail. And John Cena didn't need the title. And John Cena, in my opinion, didn't need it. He didn't need it. Yes, I know some will say, well, he technically did need it. Yes, he needed it to pass Ric Flair's record. And that's really what it should have just been. The title run should have just been there to do that. Beat Ric Flair's record. That's all it should have been. It should not have been, he's going to stay champion forever, or he's going to stay champion for the rest of the year. It should have, or he's going to ruin wrestling. You know, it should have never been about any of that. All it should have been was just him wanting to beat Ric Flair's record, and that's all it was. And also the commentators said that Cody Rhodes had never beaten John Cena in a one-on-one match. Well, that certainly changed tonight. So, there. John Cena passes the torch to Cody Rhodes. And there's no heel turn. Everyone thought Cody was going to turn heel. And honestly, I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't because Cody didn't need to turn heel. He didn't need to turn heel, people. It's kind of funny how people hated when he was a babyface in AEW, but all AEW fans wanted him to turn heel, and then in WWE, now it's the exact same thing. People are sick of him as a babyface, and now they want him as a heel. Oh boy, how the winds have changed. How the winds have changed. Huh? How the winds of change have happened. So Cody Rhodes shakes John's hand. They shake hands and they hug. No trolling heel turn. John Cena wasn't trolling. He wasn't doing a troll of a heel turn where maybe he was going to troll the audience. Or Cody didn't attack him post-match. They hugged. They embraced. John passed the torch to Cody as the new face of the WWE. Cody leaves with the WWE Championship. And then all of a sudden, a theme song we haven't heard in 2 years plays in the arena, and he comes out. Brock Lesnar makes his return to WWE for the first time in 2 years, because his last match was against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. If you guys are fans of Brock Lesnar, click off this video right now, because you probably do not want to hear what I'm going to have to say here. But Brock Lesnar coming back was not necessary. We did not need to see Brock Lesnar in the year of 2025. We do not need to see him anymore. Brock, we should not be seeing him anymore in the year of 2025. It didn't need to end with Brock Lesnar coming out the way he did. I remember, and look, I know why Brock's been gone, okay? I know why he's been gone. I'm not going to go into all that crap. I don't need to. I don't need to go into that crap, nor do I want to go into all of it, because this channel, I don't want to discuss the whole stuff that Vince did. And I know that Brock Lesnar's nickname was brought up in all of those allegations. Again, I don't want to mention it nor bring it up. But Brock Lesnar should not be back. He should not be back. We don't need him anymore. We don't need him anymore. The only way I would be okay with Brock Lesnar coming back is if he put over the next generation. You know, people like Braun Breaker and Gunther. And then he would go off into the sunset and retire afterwards. That would be the only way I'd be fine with Brock coming back. If he was to come back and you know, elevate some younger guys. Give some younger guys like a Braun Breaker a victory over him. Which I don't see that being a possibility. I don't see that happening. I mean, sure, a match between them could happen if Brock stays. But again, I don't really want to see Brock anymore. I'm done with Brock. I'm tired of Brock. There's no... And the sad part is, people popped for it. The people popped for it. So they're going to view it as, yeah, the fans are happy to see him. The fans wanted to see Brock back. They're going to act like we, the audience, have missed him and we want to see him back. I don't want to complain too much about it. I don't want to go on a tirade about it. But all I'm saying is, I do not want to see Brock. I do not want to see Brock. I have no desires to see Brock. And the fact that Triple H has gone out of his way to bring Brock back is a major negative on my end. It's a major negative, and I thought we'd be done with this. I thought we would be done with ever seeing Brock Lesnar. But that's not the case. We are still dealing with Brock Lesnar, even though of everything that has been going on. But it is what it is. I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is. Overall, SummerSlam Night 2 was very good. I enjoyed it a lot more than Night 1. Positives, Naomi, Rhea, and Io had a great match. Negative was Rhea getting pinned. And among other things. But yeah. Thank you all for watching, guys. Hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.